I'm not going to storm out of your catch. And I'm not going to admit that you got Barbara Novak to fall in love with you. Because I'm not Barbara Novak. There is no Barbara Novak. And I didn't fall in love with Zip Martin. I fell in love with Catcher Block. And that was a year ago, when for 3.5 weeks I worked as your secretary. I don't expect you to remember me because I wasn't a brunette back then. But you did ask me out. And it broke my heart to say no. But I loved you too much. I couldn't bear to be just another notch on your bedpost. I knew that with your dating habits, even if I was lucky enough to get a regular spot on your dating schedule, I would never have your undivided attention long enough for you to fall in love with me. I knew that I had to do something different to set myself apart. I knew that I had to quit my job as your secretary and write an international bestseller, controversial enough to get the attention of a New York publisher and no magazine, but insignificant enough that as long as I went unseen, no magazine's star journalist would refuse to do a cover story on me. I knew that every time we were supposed to meet, you would get distracted by one of the many girlfriends that you have and stand me up. And this would make me argue with you over the phone and declare that I wouldn't see you for 100 years. And then all I'd have to do was be patient and wait. The 2 or 3 weeks it would take for everyone in the world to buy my bestseller and to begin to get the publicity it would take for you to, 1, see what I look like, and 2, see me denounce you in public as the worst kind of man. I knew this would make you want to get even with me by writing one of your exposés. And in order to do that, you would have to go undercover, and you would have to assume a false identity. And you would have to pretend to be the kind of man that would make the kind of girl I was pretending to be fall in love. And since I was pretending to be the kind of girl that would have sex on the first date, you would have to pretend to be the kind of man that wouldn't have sex for several dates. And in doing so, you'd have to take me out on lots of dates, and we'd go to all the best places and watch all the hit shows. Until finally, one night, you would bring me back to your place that you're pretending was someone else's in order to get the evidence you need for your exposé by seducing me to say I love you. Except saying I love you was also my plan. I just wanted you to hear the truth so that when you heard me say I love you, you would know that I knew who you were, and you would know who I was. And then the great Catcher Block would know that he had been beaten at his own game by me, Nancy Brown, his former secretary. And I would have once and for all set myself apart from all the other girls that you've known, all those other girls that you've never really cared about, by making myself someone like the only person you truly love and admire above all others. You. And when you had realized that you had met your match, I would have at last gained the respect it would take for you to want to marry me first and seduce me later.